Hello, this is Brent, your movie theater explorer here, and just here with another episode. So I'll be going through some of the movies that I recently saw, and one of the big ones I'm going to touch on today, actually right off the back, is Predator Badlands, as I've just gotten out of seeing it not too long ago. So I so yeah, you're kind of getting like basically like kind of a somewhat like out of the theater reaction, but it's more like I got out of the theater probably about a half an hour ago. So it's I so it's definitely fresh in my mind and everything. So anyway, but yeah, so we're gonna talk about first Predator Badlands. It comes out this weekend. And so but I got to go into an early fan screening of it. Um, I was very curious on it, so I I'm gonna have to admit right off the back, I am not very familiar with the Predator universe, so I don't know like the mythology and all that. So all I know is what it pertains to in the story that was told. So um, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I'm just going to give my overall impressions. And I also posted this on my Facebook page not too long ago, but the way I described it is a cool science fiction adventure movie. And that's what I really thought of it. I really much enjoyed it. It was one of those like looking at the trailers, I know what I wanted out of it, and I feel like I got exactly what I hoped out of it. Which I just described. Obviously, it's a science fiction movie that takes place on another world. So basically, this main character, Predator, he is basically an outcast and is sent out to this alien planet, and that is basically this planet that basically can, as said in the trailers, is full of creatures that can kill, that is out there to kill everyone and anything. So um, yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm trying to think about what not to say and what to say about the story without spoiling anything. There's obviously there's a word that describes them, and right now it's not coming to the top of my head. I'm not familiar with the whole alien predator universe, but um, synthezoids, I think, is what it's called. Um, I probably got that wrong. So, but anyway, like um, android machines, basically. So, one of them is played by Ella Fanning, and so basically like a robot. And it's basically there's a bunch of these and she's on this planet as well. So don't want to go too much more into it because again, it's I don't know what's been kept from the trailers and what's been kept from the synopsis, but overall though, like I mean, again, you basically get a lot of cool alien creatures. You get a really cool alien planet, and the places they explore in it are actually really cool. Um, it was definitely it was a really fun time at the movies for me. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and so yeah, obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of IMAX. And so IMAX 3D, um, I thought the depth was pretty cool. It wasn't like the most impressive, like oh this super immersive depth, but at the same time, it felt fairly immersive. The big highlight, of course, was the sound. The IMAX sound, which just helped me draw into the experience, helped immerse me into it. And the cool thing was just some of these creatures have like their roars and all that. Some of them just you can feel that extra scale in the IMAX theater, and that was really cool. So um, again, this is I don't. I think for those that are wondering if they have to be familiar with any of the other Predator movies to be able to enjoy this, again, I'm not that familiar with the whole Predator universe, but I was actually able to enjoy this movie as it was and just appreciate what we got here. Um, Again, there was some humor in it. There's definitely quite a bit of laughter. So, um, yeah, again, I can't speak for how it compares to all the other ones. I have heard early reactions, early reviews, and they basically all state that it does feel a lot like they go in a different direction than some of the earlier Predator movies have done. So it is definitely very different. Again, what you're getting here is a cool science fiction adventure movie, and and if that's what you want, I highly recommend checking this out. So, I mean, IMAX is a great way to experience it, but I think even just seeing it in a regular theater will be fun too. But yeah, it comes out this weekend. I think it's worth checking out. So those are my thoughts on Predator Badlands at this time. And so yeah. Okay, so we'll go to the next one of the next ones I had recently seen. Actually, the weekend that it came out, I got to see Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere. That's basically about the Bruce Springsteen, basically more focused on a particular aspect of his life, more of creating the album Nebraska is what it's called. And so, and just some of the events that were going on that helped lead to like how he wanted to craft this. So did a lot of reflection on what happened beforehand and all that, and and then just again, I don't know the whole like what would have been maybe exaggerated for the screen, or I looked up some stuff afterwards. I got one aspect that I could tell they probably like they might have tweaked a few things that may not have been total real life, if that makes sense, but to tell the story that they were trying to tell. And obviously, it was a very personal story and all that. And again, it's this is not like your typical like a the whole life of a musician from birth to death or anything like that. And I believe Bruce Springsteen still, yeah, Bruce Springsteen is still around, and and also this more again just focuses more on a particular period of his life. So it's not going into like how he grew to fame and all that. Just more about creating this album. So, and my experience was really good. I really liked it, honestly. Uh, I mean, again, I don't think it was anything perfect. It was definitely slow moving, so it wasn't something that was like I sat there and like it was engaging enough for me. So, um, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was kind of cool to see the process of trying to figure out the aspects of creating this album, and so that was kind of cool. And so I saw this in a Cinemark theater. It was it was one of the smaller auditoriums of the one that I went to, but it was still a nice experience. And actually, an interesting part. This was I went to like a 9 o'clock showing for it, and I ended up being the only one in there, so I didn't really get an audience reaction or anything like that. Um, so, but it was still really good. For those that like are interested in checking it out, like I was, I'd say go check it out. Um, I'll go through the rest of the list on the other ones that I have seen. Um, I did watch The Hunt for Red October in my dedicated home theater. I picked it up on 4K Ultra HD a few months ago, and it was on sale. So I like this one. I wanted to rewatch it in like in a home theater setting, so I picked it up, and it was definitely really really cool to watch, to experience it this way. Again, the dedicated home theater is a 4K projector with a 7.2 Dolby Atmos surround sound, and but again, the audio for this was in Dolby True HD 5.1. The 4K image looked really good. Um, Definitely good details, and definitely looked really good. Um, Nothing like mind blowing, but hey, I think for what it was and for all that, it looked good. And then the sound, again, being in Dolby True HD 5.1, it sounded quite good. It helped immerse me into like some of the submarine atmosphere that we would be placed in quite a bit, and even like a certain moment where I felt like we were going for a bit of a dive, and that sounded really cool. So yeah, and it's still a really good movie. I don't know if you guys have not seen it before. I do recommend checking it out. I do think it's a very good movie. Um, Another one I did watch in my dedicated home theater. Um, Continuing for the month of October for Halloween stuff is I watched Beetlejuice. I think I shared in my last episode that I watched the first Beetlejuice. Because again, it's a really good one. It's a classic. I enjoy rewatching that one. I grew up with it. I watched Beetlejuice last year in theaters, once in IMAX and once in Cinemark XD. So actually, I saw it twice in IMAX and then once in Cinemark XD. And then I enjoyed the movie. I Would I say it's as good as the first? The first was something on its own level. It's something very special. The second one, I feel like did a really good job on trying to create the as feeling like a continuation of that world, still be a story that belongs to that world. The wackiness of the afterlife and everything, it like all the details and everything, and the um, the energy that Michael Keaton brings to the character of Beetlejuice definitely really stood out a lot. So I don't think the movie's as good as the first. Again, the first was something very special. Like I think I shared some of my experiences discovering the movie on my Facebook page, but basically the first one I discovered on a VHS tape. Like I knew we had it in our collection. Um, I For a while, and then when I was 11 years old, I decided to pull it out and just watch it, and it was definitely something I wasn't expecting. We'll put it that way. And so yeah, it's definitely a very unique experience, and I definitely really enjoyed it. And then just rewatch. But so yeah, so that's the first one. I really like it and grew up watching it a lot as a kid and throughout my teenage years, and it's one I still like to go back and rewatch. And so the second one, obviously, it's a legacy sequel. Um, I think it does a good job of creating the world. I like the story that we got. It's and the energy that Michael Keaton brings. I don't think it's obviously not as great as the first, but I still think it's worth at least checking out for definitely for anyone that's curious of it, and just anyone that just hey would just enjoy a continuation. Um, I had a fun time with it. So, and again, the 4K image looked really good in the dedicated home theater, um, and then the sound sounded quite good as well. Um, Another one I got to see, I saw it in the Cinemark theater, was Paranorman. Um, I really like Studio Leica's movies, or Leica Studios movies. So they're the ones that do motion animation. The ones you're probably going to be familiar with is like Coraline. If you've ever seen that, uh, that's the company that Leica did that one, and they've done a lot of these other ones. Paranorman, which was their second feature. They also did Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings, and The Missing Link. And their next one, which I'm really hoping comes out next year, is Wildwood. And that looks really good, and I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, Paranorman, their second feature, they decided to put it back into theaters, and I had not watched this one that much. I enjoyed it, but I've not really watched it that much. I did watch it once when it first came into theaters back in 2012. I saw it in 3D. It was really cool that way. Um, the next time I watched it was when I picked it up on Blu-ray. Um, Years later, I found it for a pretty cheap price, and that was the next time I watched it. I wasn't as focused because I think when I had it playing, I had a few other things going on, so I wasn't as well focused on rewatching it. So this time I was obviously more focused and saw it in a Cinemark theater, and not in 3D, unfortunately. I would have liked to see it in 3D, but just I think the time that it was playing in 3D, I couldn't make happen. So I went for 2D because I'm like, hey, just at least experiencing this movie again in 3D would be, or this experience in this movie in theaters would be great regardless. They did have a short playing right before, and the short that they had playing before what is called Paranorman the Thrifting, I think is what it's called. Again, I'm not looking at information as I'm recording this, so I apologize if I got the title wrong. But yeah, so just to let you know, this was not, the short was not in stop motion animation, but the character designs were very true to the character designs of the movie. And it was like a fun little watch. It was nothing grand, but it's just like, hey, just got a little enjoyment out of it. But rewatching the movie was a lot of fun, and I appreciated the story and some of the moments and everything. And picture looked good, and um, I think it had been remastered, so and it looked good and it sounded good as well. So if you had not seen it before, I think it's out of theaters now. But if you had not seen it before, if you have watched any of the other movies like I had listed, like Coraline or Kubo, I do recommend at least checking this one out once. I think it's good. Um, Another one I'm going to touch on, what I experienced in my modest home theater, is Gremlins 2. Um, I watched it on DVD. I've had my DVD for a while. So I'll be honest, the DVD quality, obviously, when rewatching it, since obviously a lot of the TVs and all that, the resolution has gotten better. Um, Watching it this way, watching it now, obviously the pictures is definitely not as sharp and everything. I think the DVD is from like a couple of decades ago now. So so obviously the picture's not too great now on that. I know there's a Blu-ray. I haven't upgraded to Blu-ray because I'm kind of wondering if they'll put it out on 4K in the near future. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm gonna wait and see if they do it. If they don't, then I'll pick up the Blu-ray at some point. I really do like Gremlins too, so um, I the first one's obviously, however you want to put it, a Christmas or Halloween classic, however you want to put it, or if you watch it, whatever time you watch it, it is it is a really fun time. I watched the first Gremlins during Christmas time. I like to watch once in a while. I like to watch Gremlins 2 around Halloween. It is not a scary movie. It is well, maybe it's probably scary for the little kids. You may want to watch that if you're going to watch it with a family, with a bunch of little kids. You may want to watch it first just to kind of get the feel of how you feel about exposing it to them first. But it's it is a very like, it's a live action cartoon. It's very wacky. It is um Like you watch a lot of things that happen. It is, yeah, it's very wacky. I'm just trying to think. Um, there's some Looney Tune references in there, so that might kind of give you an idea of what to expect. But yeah, honestly, Gremlins 2 is not the same as the first. It is definitely on a different level, and and I get a blast out of rewatching it. So, and again, it's not like a scary Halloween movie. I just watch it because like a scary creatures, but scary wacky creatures, I guess maybe is how I want to use it. Um, but yeah, so if you've never seen it, I do recommend checking it out. Again, yeah, the sound was fine. Obviously, the picture was fine. Again, it's a DVD quality. It's DVD, so the quality is obviously not going to be as great as it would be in Blu-ray. But again, it's the DVD that I watched at this time. Um, Back to the Future is the next one. I got to see that in IMAX. Actually, I got to experience it in IMAX, and and yeah, and I really enjoyed. Um, Sorry, my apologies. I'm stuttering a little bit. But yeah, I got to experience Back to the Future in IMAX. It was playing in IMAX for about a week, and this is one of those movies that's been a big classic for me growing up as a kid, and so I wanted to experience an IMAX. I just a little note. I have experienced this movie a couple of times in theaters. Actually, I was born in 1985, and my parents did take me to Back to the Future. They have told me this is my very first movie I got to see in theaters, but I was obviously a little baby, so I wouldn't remember it. So, so I guess that is 4 times that I've experienced this in theaters. But yeah, anyway, the ones I do remember are for the 30th anniversary in 2015. They played the whole trilogy on October 21st, 2015. So, for those that are familiar with the Back to the Future trilogy, Back to the Future Part 2, that's where they go into the future. So, and that day is when they decided to play all 3 movies in theaters. And so I bought a ticket for each of the movies and saw them in theaters. And it was a great crowd. So, okay, so I'm just rewinding um, to 2015 for all this right now. But so the first one, a great crowd, a lot of cheering throughout the movie at various parts. Part two, there was definitely a lot of cheering, and definitely when we got into the future and all that, when we got to October 21st, 2015, because that was the day that we are all experiencing the movie, so it was awesome. And and then by the time we got to the third one, the crowds had died down quite a bit, but there was still a big dedicated fan base there, and there was still a lot of cheering and everything throughout the movie. It was it was probably one of my it was definitely a great theater going experience for just experiencing all 3 of these movies on the same day in a marathon. So it's definitely one of my favorite theater going experiences. I did get to see the Back to the Future again in 2020 on July 3rd, actually. So it's for its actual 35th anniversary. And that was cool to experience again. Um, and then now again on October 30th, I got to see it in IMAX. And it was a great experience. The picture, the scale was great, but just the sound, and it just felt like I felt extra immersed when the music was playing and everything, and some of the sound effects good. It didn't feel like it was overblown. It felt like it was the right levels, and it's just felt great. It felt immersive, and it was a great way to experience the movie. And very glad I got to see it. I don't know if it's still going to be playing in IMAX. If you do get a chance to try to check it out in an IMAX theater, I do recommend trying to check it out that way. But I think it's still going to be playing in theaters for at least another week. Um, So if you do get an opportunity to check it out in theaters, I do recommend trying to check it out that way. Um, okay. Other ones that I got to see and experience. Silverado, I got to experience in my dedicated home theater. I picked it up on 4K Ultra HD in a steel bookcase, and this is my first time ever watching it. I don't watch a lot of westerns. I'm trying to check out a few of them myself though, and this one I wanted to check out. So, and it was definitely a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun one. The cast was great. It was paced well, and there was a lot of cool landscape shots, and and yeah, overall very entertaining. And this 4K looked great. The image looked great. It definitely felt very filmic and everything, and the sound was in Dolby Atmos, and it sounded really great as well. Just hearing the gunshots going all over and the ambience just sounded great. Um, so if you're a fan of the movie, you want to pick this up in 4K Ultra HD, you want to play it in a home theater, I do recommend picking this one up. Um, Another one, I've had Star Wars on Star Wars since I've got the whole Star Wars trilogy on 4K. I'm and I decided to watch um, the first one, Star Wars: a new Episode 4, New Hope, um, in my dedicated home theater, and it was a really cool experience. The the 4K picture looked good. Um, Obviously, I don't think it was perfect, but it looked good. Um, in the sound, it sounded quite good as well. Something that was cool is just just the sound of the music was great in the home theater, and just all the other sound effects and everything, and some of the ambience was great. So it was a really good home theater experience, and um, so yeah, I was great to experience the 4K Ultra HD disc that way. The home to experience the movie that way in 4K Ultra HD. Um, so yeah, I think that's it for right now. Um, I should just note I did quickly get to experience Tron Ares again in a regular in a regular theater this time. So it wasn't an IMAX or Cinemark SD or any premium screen. It was just in a smaller theater. There was actually a good crowd. It was on a discount day, and and it was great to hear some of the reactions in the theater. And um, I still recommend checking out this movie in theaters if you have not done so. It's a really cool theater going experience. Um, okay, I think the last thing I'll do is just I brought up my question of the day. What seasoning do you like on your popcorn? Um, I don't do a lot of I don't like putting a lot of butter on my popcorn. The butter salt that's just served with the popcorn, it's good. Again, I don't eat a lot of popcorn myself, but when I do, it's I'm not big into getting butter on my popcorn. Um, but something I actually do like to do that I have done a couple of times, and it's actually quite good, is putting like some kind of candy, more like something like Bunch of Crunch. That's like a not super big, but just something you can throw into the popcorn. And that was quite good. I think I've done cinnamon sugar one time, and that was pretty good as well. So um, I think it's been a while since I've done that. I'll have to do it again. But yeah, again, I don't eat a lot of popcorn myself, but doing like throwing something in like Bunch of Crunch or some kind of candy is always cool. Or yeah, but yeah, Bunch of Crunch was something that was really good when I did one time. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, if you guys like picking up seasoning and all that, there's some good stuff. If you like to pick up very seasoning, or even just throwing some candy in there, that's always cool. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Um, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you guys find some cool cool movies to see in theaters. There's definitely some great stuff coming out in the next couple of months, and I will definitely be sharing my thoughts as I check those out. Um, and even if I don't bring up certain things and you're interested, I'd say go check it out in theaters. Experiencing these movies in theaters is definitely a great way to experience these movies. They're made to be that way, and they're always something special when you experience them in a theater. Anyway, this is Brent, your movie theater explorer, and signing out. And go enjoy a great movie at your local movie theater. See you to next time.